What is going on, guys? Dave from Wake Up It's Football, bringing you guys another draft profile. Today it is Kyle Van Noy, the outside linebacker out of BYU. And just remember, keep in mind, draft stock will be shifting and changing from now until the NFL draft. And shout out the draft breakdown for the highlights in this video. But let's get right into this one. Kyle Van Noy, the outside linebacker out of BYU, standing at 6'3", 243 pounds. Some collegiate stats: 226 total tackles, 7 interceptions, 11 forced fumbles, and 26 sacks. A couple of things you might want to know about Kyle Van Noy. First of all, he was a part of 4 bowl games. In 2010, the BYU team went to the New Mexico Bowl. 2011 was the Armed Force Bowl. 2012 was the Poinsettia Bowl, and 2013 was the Fight Hunger Bowl. Also, some highlights here: 3rd team All-American in 2012 and 2013, 1st team All-Independent in 2011, 2012, and 2013, 2012 Poinsettia Bowl Defensive MVP, and a couple of other awards there. Kind of getting to his pros and cons here. First of all, the thing I noted about Kyle Van Noy is I thought he was very athletic and very versatile. There were plays where a normal linebacker wouldn't necessarily make. I felt as if he had good enough jump in his ability where he would always like to tip passes, he would always like to intercept passes, and I thought his ball skills as a linebacker were very good. Also, his movement, I thought he was very fluid, moving left to right, up and down on the field. So getting to the quarterback and getting into the backfield was not a problem for Kyle Van Noy. So when you address what kind of a player he is, I thought he's more of an outside linebacker, potentially a 3-4, as a pass rusher, where he attacks he attacks the quarterbacks, he attacks the running backs in the backfield, and I felt that that's where he is going to be more successful than playing in coverage, because there were times he would play in coverage. There were also times where he would play against a receiver, but he would play more shallow routes. That way he could still stay up on the play. And again, as I mentioned, tip passes. He was always a player who liked to get his hands up in the air, whether he was more towards the line of scrimmage or a little bit more downfield. He would always jump up, tip passes, and his teammates behind him would pick those passes off. So that was another positive for Kyle Van Noy. Now, for his cons, one thing I really noted, and it really bothered me, was his motor and his effort. There were times where if he wasn't attacking the line of scrimmage, if the play was no longer beyond or behind the line of scrimmage, I felt as if Kyle Van Noy wanted nothing to do with it. He didn't want to really put in the effort. He really didn't want to mess around with contact. He would kind of let up, and he wouldn't put in 100% effort on those plays. He would look like he's chasing a player down, or he would look like he's making an effort on the play, but when it came time to tackle or make contact, he really didn't do it. He would let his teammates handle that, and he would just back off. So that kind of bothered me a little bit. I kind of compare him to Bjorn Werner of last year, who I jotted down the same exact problem. Bjorn Werner was a guy who liked to get after the quarterback, sack the quarterback, and that was about it. Kyle Van Noy is a little bit more, athletic and versatile, but he's also one of those players where it comes to contact, when, beyond the line of scrimmage, he really doesn't want a whole lot to do with it. Also, he had a DUI as a senior in high school in 2009, but, scouts and GMs will be asking him about everything. So, when they do their investigating on players, they will be asking him about that as well. Now, draft projection, don't see him as a first-round guy, potentially a second-round guy, but probably a third-round guy. Teams of interest, just jotted down some teams just like D Ford. Teams who potentially could use an outside linebacker, so Tampa Bay, Buffalo, the New York Giants, Dallas, Miami, Arizona, and New Orleans. But let me know what you guys think about Kyle Van Noy. Comments, questions, concerns down in the comment box below. But that's all I got for you guys today. I'm out.